I approached the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors when this whole sales tax issue came out.
Okay.
And I asked them to be a business advocate, which they are supposed to be, and do something to get this message out that this sales tax, in my opinion, is going to hurt downtown business in Galena, Illinois. Pat McCarthy, I'm a CPA with O'Connor Brooks. Well, right now we're the highest in the tri-states. Galena's sales tax is 7 1/4. The closest one is Dubuque at 7. And I think Platteville, I think Wisconsin is 5. I have 2 employees here who live in Hazel Green. And I point blank asked them, where do you guys go shopping? Do you come down here to go to Walmart, or where do you shop? And they said, no, we go to Platteville. And I said, well, that's farther away. Why would you go to Platteville? Well, because the sales tax is cheaper.
Okay. So
right now there's a 2.5% difference. If this initiative goes through, it will now be a 3.5% difference, which on $100 is $3.50. So that's my main concern. And then additionally in downtown, he said, I don't care how thin you cut the bacon, there's only so much fat on the hog. And when you think about that, there's only so many dollars people have to spend, and the more you start whittling away at that disposable income, the less they're going to have to spend, the less they're going to come around here to help us. That's my whole basis on this thing. I don't have anything against the schools. Everybody wants to have good schools. I think we do have good schools. But at some point it's got to stop. You just cannot pile on and pile on and pile on. For restaurants and fast food like McDonald's and Culver's, Happy Joe's, there's another 1% food and beverage tax. So that puts the current tax on food and beverage in Galena at 8 1/4. This would make it 9 1/4. I mean, at some point, this thing gets to the point where people are going to quit coming here. Company here in Galena, principal on the corporation. I've been a resident of Galena since 1970 when I came out of the Army. My father and I went into business at that time, so I've been in business in town ever since then. Married my wife Teeny in '73, and we've had 3 kids. They've all gone through the school system. I haven't heard one business owner who's in favor of this. But I feel that as a CP, I don't buy this argument that people are going to come from East Dubuque to Galena when they can go right across the river and pay less sales tax. That makes absolutely no sense to me. Hey, certainly we're supposed to be looking out for the public good of our clients, and I think this is looking this concept is really interesting because it's a radical change from the way we're funding schools now. Currently, your school is funded locally by the property tax that's generated within that school district. And how much do you need? Let's put a real number on it. See, that's the issue I have with sales tax, is it's forever. It's here. If this thing gets passed, this sales tax is going to be generated and collected for years and years and years to come, regardless of what the need of that school is. Let's say they have $1 million need. So that means in 2 years, at $517,000 a year, they'll have it paid off. But the tax is going to keep on coming. It won't stop. It's forever. The other thing that's bad about sales tax is it hurts low-income individuals. That's the lion's share of their funding. They do get some revenue from Illinois for income tax, sales tax, not sales tax, but replacement tax, things of that nature. But the lion's share of their funding comes from property tax. That's why, particularly in this county, you see a difference in the financial viability from school district to school district to school district. The Scales Mountain district is very small, but yet is very rich because of the property tax they're getting from Galena Territory, as is River Ridge. A lot of the Galena Territory money funds that school. So consequently, districts like Galena and East Dubuque and probably Warren and Stockton to the same extent don't have that same kind of revenue stream coming from property tax. This proposal changes it to a regional type funding, meaning the whole county now is going to fund the school kids based on a per capita basis, which is an individual. So this is going to generate about $2 million a year in tax, 1%. That's based on the 2007 numbers, which are the latest that I could get a hold of. Of that $2 million, $1.1 million is raised in the Galena sales tax district, city of Galena. When you calculate it out, there's 3,122 kids in our county So if you divide the 2 million by 3122, you come up with about $668 per child. Galena has 775 students, meaning that they would get $517,000 to the Galena School District. But 1.1 million is raised within the city limits of Galena, Illinois, on the back of the business community. Like it or not, that's who's getting taxed here, is the efforts of the business community. That means $630,000 is leaving the Galena School District. It's a radical change in the way the school districts are funded. If they want to look at change, I'm all for change.
And what would you propose for change?
I'd say the first thing we want to do is let's take a look at the way the real estate tax is used to fund all the schools. Maybe we can take all the real estate tax generated countywide, throw that in one pot, divvy that out on a per capita basis. I wouldn't have any problem with that. Now, for the public good of my clients and other businesses in the area, proposal at all. Do your homework is what I would say to anybody who's looking at this video. Do your homework. Don't listen to everything you hear, including me. You know, verify what I'm telling you. It's verifiable. The information's out there. The other thing that I want to make sure that people understand is this. Don't fall for the old song and dance that, well, if you don't pass this, your real estate tax is going up. That's not true. The only thing that can raise real estate tax in this county is the county individual, the voter, because we have a law in place called PTEL, Property Tax Extension Limitation Law, which by law limits the ability of governments to increase your property tax rate to the lesser of 5% of the prior year tax or the consumer price index, whichever is smaller. And in the past years, the CPI has been running about 2%. So that's the maximum that they can increase that property tax without us as the voters agreeing to, yep, you can raise it more. So don't listen to all this stuff. Do your homework and make an intelligent decision here. If the school has a need, you know, if they need to build a new school, if they need $5 million for an addition, I don't care what it is. Tell us what the need is. There are ways to fund it. They can fund that with a revenue bond, which the voting public has to pass. And go ahead and do your project. Now the difference there is this. When the tax is generated to pay that bond off, that tax disappears. Your property tax then decreases back to the level it was before that bond was passed by referendum. There's funding mechanisms out there. And I think that this public of ours is savvy enough that if you show me a need that we can really agree on is a need, then yeah, then let's do it. But let's do it the right way. Let's not put a tax in here that's regressive, that's going to hurt low-income people, that can never be wiped off unless you circulate another referendum countywide, and that would be a pretty big job to do that. That's going to be here forever when you can do it under a normal situation through a referendum for a revenue bond, get your project done and let it go away. I mean, that's the way this is normally done.